Thinking Like a Lender. Today we are going to cover employment. So employment is part of the ability to repay process that we are required to document. And the rules surrounding employment have to do with a 2-year work history and the likelihood that the employment is going to continue for 3 or more years. So there are situations where I maybe worked for 2, 5, 10 years, and then I took time off to care for my parents, or I had children, and so I have a gap in my employment. Then I go back to work at 6 months later. I want to qualify for a loan. Do I have to start the 2 years all over? Not necessarily. If you're going into the same line of work that you've done in the past, we can see that your income is likely to continue. We understand why there's a job gap. That is not going to necessarily disqualify you from a home loan. You also may hear people talk about if you've made a job change in 2 years that you wouldn't qualify for a loan. That is not true. If you're moving from the same field of work to another, I do paperwork here at a dentist office, and now I've switched and I'm doing paperwork over here for an escrow company. Paperwork is paperwork. You're in the same field of work. However, if I went from being a receptionist at a dentist office and now I'm a police officer, now we've kind of got to change a field, and what is the likelihood that you're going to stay in that field and everything would be successful there. So those are some of the things that we're looking at when we talk about a 2-year history. If you've been in college for 2 or more years, I'm in nursing program, I come out of school, I go straight to work in a nursing field, that college experience actually counts as part of my education or my work history because you were attending it. It's in the exact same field. So where some of the slip-ups can come is when you are a W-2 employee and you go to work as a 1099 independent contractor. So now I'm considered self-employed. That is a change where we would have a new 2-year history. In order to use income, we have to use on self-employed people, we're going to use a 2-year average. I'll cover more of that under the income section. Going from self-employed to a W-2 is great, but making that jump from W-2 to self-employed is where you're going to see that 2-year work history start all over again. The other thing that we're looking for in that 2-year history are job changes. Have you changed jobs 3 or 4 times in the last year or 2? If so, is it because you were getting promotions, or are you just not able to stay put in one place? So those are things that they are looking at, and what is the likelihood of you continuing forward for 3 years if we don't have a pattern of staying in the same job for 2 or more years. So a job change in between that 2 years isn't going to necessarily hurt you, but if you have a lot of different ones, that will be something that impacts you. The other part is second jobs. So if you have 2 jobs, you still have to have a 2-year history of working both jobs. They're looking at how many hours you work. We need to know that your employment is sustainable. We don't want to qualify you for a loan where you can't actually make the payment, or the lifestyle that you've picked is not a sustainable lifestyle. So that's how we work with income or employment. I'm sorry, that's how we work with employment. Our next episode will be on income and how we're averaging it. And I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I look forward to seeing you next time.